Hey everybody, how's it going? This is another update video that I'm doing. This is a video of talking about one of my favorite movies that I absolutely love. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. One of my favorite movies that I absolutely love, Billy Bob Thornton and Dwight Yoakam and J.T. Walsh play in it, which is called SLING BLADE. And one of my favorite scenes in that movie at the beginning is whenever Carl, when he walks up to this restaurant, and this guy goes like, "Can I help you, sir? Can I help you, sir?" And he says, "I was kindly wanting something other to eat." And he says, "Well, what would you like?" And he says, "You got any biscuits for sale in there?" And he's like, "No, this here's a Frosty Cream. We don't serve biscuits." But that was such an amazing movie. I loved it. It was so good. But also there's this one scene where he's whenever he first meets Dole, who's played by Dwight Yoakam, he says, "Were you locked up for cutting somebody with a hatchet or something?" And he says, "I ain't never used no hatchet that I remember." That was such a funny movie. But it was really good. I enjoyed it. I have to say, out of all the movies, I think Sling Blade is number one. Such a good movie. And, there's a scene in there also where Dole, when he's got his band buddies together, and, this man all of a sudden yelling like crazy, and he says, "Hey, I told you 3 times already. The law's on my side." And he gets in his pickup truck, and then all of a sudden, after a while, he runs into some buddies that he knows. And he says, "You ain't drunk driving, are you, Dole?" And he's like, "Yeah, pretty much." And and then there's this one scene where never Dole, when he gets drunk, and all of a sudden he gets wild up and just going like crazy, and he says, "Hey, get out of my house!" And all of a sudden his girlfriend Linda comes up to him. And he says, "This is not your house, Dole. This is my house. And I'll say who stays and who goes." And then he starts getting all worked up again and says, Linda threatened to leave him. And he says to him, and it really made me mad of what he said to her. He says, "If you even think about leaving me, Linda, I will kill you deader than a doornail." And that just really ticked me off, that line there. And right after they start getting in an argument, Linda pushes him back, and then all of a sudden he pushes her back, and then Frank pushes him down to the floor and makes him hurt himself, and then he throws a bunch of beer bottles and books at him, giving him the consequences of what messing with his mama would do. And it was so funny. And then also there's another scene in there where Carl, when he's trying to fix a lawnmower, and a guy goes like, "Carl, come here and see what you can do with this thing. It won't crank up." And he's like, "It ain't got no gas in it." That was such a funny movie. So if you're able to, please rate, comment, subscribe, and I'll be doing more videos to come. Thank you very much.